Okay, and we are recording. All right, we're going to get started. If anybody has to hop off this call at any point, we are going to be recording the whole call and sending out a YouTube link that is password protected until June 30th. So if you guys have to hop off but you want to watch the rest, we're going to have that resource for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. I just want to say that we appreciate each and every one of you on behalf of the whole core team. And I want to give you a little bit of an overview on what we're going to be talking about today. So we're going to give you some updates on what we've been working on, some events we've been presenting at, our hopes for future collaborations. And then we are going to talk about our new entity, which is very exciting. And we're going to have a live interview with Amy Blankson, who recently gave an incredible TED Talk. And then we're going to dive into our new portal and how to use it. This call is unique in that we have existing and prospective DWC participants. And so we're going to kind of share our screen and show you how everything works, all of the resources that are in our new portal. It's absolutely packed full, and really teach you how to use it. And then we're going to talk a little bit about how to refer new people, how to sign up if you haven't joined yet, and then end with a Q&A and hear from Andrew of Ciampo on something that he's been working on and his involvement in our incredible community so far. So that is the rough agenda for this call. So updates from DWC. We are now an entity. We are a public benefit corporation, which is also something that Ciampo recently was formed as, and we're very excited to be this entity. I think that oftentimes we have a tendency to maybe be a little bit resistant to corporations, but we have an incredible core team, an incredible team of advisors. Our website has just been completely revamped, and you can read about all of our advisors on the site. So we did a lot of exploration, and we got a lot of feedback from each of you on what you wanted in terms of collaborations, in terms of impact. And we decided that a PBC was absolutely the best way to go, and it would allow us to partner with all different nonprofits and also profit, which is something that I think each of us needs to be able to do to continue doing this incredible work. So more on that soon, but we have officially formed as a PBC, and we're very, very excited. And in terms of some events that we've been involved in recently, as many of you know, March 1 was National Day of Unplugging, and we had the honor of having a table at Wisdom 2.0, which was absolutely incredible. And what really came out of that is that there are so many different organizations who are looking to begin to implement digital wellness curriculum, research, and really best practices into their work. So we got to plant a lot of seeds, which we've been nourishing and growing, and we're very, very excited to be nurturing those relationships. We also had some members of the collective present at Toronto, and we also attended the Digital Wellness Festival hosted by one of our incredible advisors, Lawrence, in London at the beginning of May. And that was just such a charged room full of incredible folks. And we had our workshop for the collective at the very, very end of the event that Lawrence hosted. And so there are a huge number of folks who are interested in creating kind of chapters and groups all over the world to be a little bit more organized in their communities and engage people more locally. So I want to let you all know that we are working on a toolkit of sorts for anybody who wants to kind of create a chapter in their town, in their region, where they offer their services and we kind of advise you and support you in creating that local outreach within your local ecosystem. So that's something that we're very, very excited about. Amy, do you want to chime in? Are there any other major updates that you'd like to share?
I can't think of anything offhand. I think you really covered it. But I do think that today is such a great day to see everyone's faces together as this first quarterly call takes place. I hope this to be the first of many, and that this group continues to grow, and this becomes a resource that's incredibly valuable for everyone. So I think we're making history as we're having this call.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Amy, let's hand it over to you for a second. I would love to ask you some questions about your most recent TED Talk, and then kind of end talking about how other people might present similarly impactful presentations, and what you think the world is calling for at this time. So for those of you who haven't seen Amy's TED Talk, there is a link on our website. We have a whole category for our folks who are in the news, because we want to support you guys and promote you as much as we possibly can. And so Amy, tell us a little bit about why you chose your topic.
Yeah, so I'll just say first of all too, because this is the first quarterly call that we've done like this with the format of having somebody highlighted. I think the intention is that we're going to highlight a member every quarterly call so that we can talk a little bit about what's going on in the field. And when Nina asked me to do this interview, the reason I really wanted to do it was because I think that there are a number of us who are out there in the field speaking and presenting, and I've discovered a couple of I guess they're pulse points in terms of what's resonating with audiences that I wanted to pass along so that we can collectively further this message globally. So when I picked my topic, just to give those of you a little background, if you haven't seen the TEDx talk, it's called The Future of Happiness, Getting Unstuck in the Digital Era. And it opens by talking about the rise of the attention economy, which I think most of us are familiar with and have been all too aware of what's been going on in terms of the rise of digital distraction and the problem that we're facing. And what I noticed though is that as awareness has increased in the world, that there's also an increase in this feeling of paralysis, that the problem is so big, there's nothing we can do about it. And so people either sweep it under the rug or they feel helpless. And so I wanted to call out some solutions that I felt like were very possible. I focused on empowering individuals in the audience to use what power they do have. Talked about how I'd been a blogger for Forbes for 2 years, talking about how the media had spun so much of what had emerged in terms of digital fears around screen time and what was happening in society that was great for raising awareness, but it was also causing a bit of panic among individuals, particularly parents. And so I finally realized after 2 years of blogging about this that I was actually one of the media members. And so I began to realize that I had latent power that I wasn't using. And I wanted to encourage other people to tap into their power. Maybe they're not a blogger, or maybe they are. Maybe they're a speaker, maybe they're an educator, maybe they're a developer, maybe they're a funder, and issued a call to action to say, hey, let's do something about this. Let's create a movement. And it was really fun because I was able to talk about the work that the collective was doing, and that I think the Digital Wellness Collective is one of those solutions. It's not about reinventing the wheel. It's not about not having enough great resources, but within this group, there is so much wisdom. There's so much access to ways to influence the world that I want to highlight it and bring more attention to that work. So that's why I decided to give the TED Talk and a little bit about it.
Thank you so much. And in the first, I think, hour of your TED Talk going live, you got over 5,000 views, which was absolutely incredible to me. Do you kind of have a feeling on why this became so popular so quickly?
Well, I know that the topic got picked up by TEDx, which was a surprise to me. That was a huge gift. They had me on their website for, I think, a week. So that was a large portion of why there was a quick response. But I think the reason that it kept getting shared beyond that was the idea that um, this is something that is not just a US issue. It's not just a young person issue. It's not just a parenting issue. This is across cultures. It is across economic classes. It's across ages. And I really feel like this is the issue of our time. It is something that's on everyone's mind, and we're looking for answers. And quite frankly, I think we're tired of hearing about the problem. We want to hear about what we can do about it, which is encouraging and exciting. So.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. In terms of responses, so on our website right now, we do have a form for prospective folks to join, but also kind of general consumers to submit questions. And so we've gotten actually quite a few about Amy's talk, and we've also gotten a few more about clinicians who are interested in us developing diagnostic tools to really measure and diagnose different challenges that come with digital wellness. And those forms and those inquiries are something that I'm very excited to share with this community. But coming back to Amy, what do you think was the most interesting and really engaged person who reached out to you after hearing your talk, which I think now has over 90,000 views?
Yeah, so within the first week, I think I started getting emails from as far away as Tunisia and Indonesia from well-being professionals who were doing work and felt like they were a lone ranger out in the field, that they didn't have a lot of resources that were in their language, or that the topic was even that well known in their community. And so they were really excited to hear about the collective and had reached out directly to the website. And that was just about the best possible thing that could have come out of that talk, was that there were people actively ready to hit the ground running, and we're looking for colleagues to make that happen. So I'm hoping many, many more communities will do so. And my vision someday, Nina, is that the Digital Wellness Collective is going to have meetup groups or chapters all over the world where we can tap in to really engage more. I know the woman who reached out from Tunisia had volunteered to help translate materials into Arabic and French. And I don't know how much is currently out there in terms of other languages. I'd be really curious in hearing from the community about language translations. But I think the more that we can get these resources out, it helps each of our members in the community to amplify their message, but it also helps get the message out quickly. And that is, of course, the beauty of social organizing online. So it's great.
And the more feedback that we receive from consumers, from all of you, the more we can really create toolkits and resources to support you. But my last question for you, Aim, is do you have any kind of general advice on how folks in the collective can amplify their voice and their messages on what they're already spreading? Because one of the, I think, really, really joys of seeing everyone's work is that everybody has unique training, unique professional experience and life experience, and that really diverse context which they can bring into their work. So do you have any recommendations on how to amplify what they're already doing?
So I've seen the greatest traction from individuals who are using positive messaging and creativity and even a bit of fun to bring levity to an issue that we all feel a pain point around. So the more that we talk about, wow, this is such a problem, the more entrenched people are feeling in staying there. And so when we're looking at forward-thinking solutions, I think the more that we can angle it about, here's how you can be a change maker, here's how you can be a leader, the better it's being received. But the other strategy is that we as a community can lift each other up. And I really believe in the power of sharing what each other is doing. And to that end, I think the collective is really trying to be a vessel, not a competition, because I think there is, I think as we've been formulating the collective, we've been really careful about not cannibalizing what other members are doing, but rather just holding space for everybody to share. And so whether it is sharing what you're doing in the forum, or asking members to help share, or adding your existing blogs to the digital wellness blog so that we can help pump it out to other places, I think there's this opportunity to access a broader network of information, and through doing so create a tidal wave of momentum. So I think later on this call, we're going to walk through a little bit about what's going on in the forum and the website so that you can see how to tap into that. But I really think that's the key.
Thank you, Amy. All right. Does anybody have any questions for Amy that maybe they want to type in the chat or shout out just for a few minutes? All right. Well, if you think of anything.
Can I raise my hand? Hi.
Yes. Hi, Andrea.
Hi, Nina. Hi, Amy. Everybody. I am so thrilled to be here. And actually, I have a new team member that she's sitting in here.
Oh, wonderful. If you're talking, if you just want to say who you are and where you are in the world, I think that would be great.
Sure. So my name is Andrea Bazwa, and I'm in Fort Collins, Colorado with Amy, my new team member as of this week. So exciting. And so I own a business called Everhuman, and I help people to thrive in the digital age, especially people who are in the later part of their lives. And I think that one thing that is unique to what I'm doing and bringing to the table here is not just about, reducing our dependence on technology and not being so addicted, but there's another side, which is digital inclusion, because a lot of people who are in the older stages of their lives are actually feeling excluded from the whole digital movement. And so that's where I'm coming from, is making sure that they can be included in a way that's comfortable for them and help them to thrive in the digital age. So that's really what Everhuman is all about. And so I just wanted to say thanks, but I love the idea of Digital Wellness Collective creating templates or opportunities. I would love to, say, because I'm sure I'm the only one in Fort Collins as a member of the Digital Wellness Collective, and I feel like that's something we need to spread in every small community we have. So to have a template, to have a way to say, I'm going to start hosting meetups, and they're official and it's kind of templated, and that, we're coming from a place of cohesiveness within the group. And I love the idea of translating our materials in other languages. My husband is from France, and we have so many people in the tech industry in France that are just so clever and so sharp and in big industries that I would love to. They're already speaking this language. If we can get in the forefront and say, oh, really? Like, here's the movement that's happening in the United States. Come be a part of it. That would be incredible. And I would love to be an ambassador in a big way. So just thank you for everything that you're doing. And yeah, keep it going. And as soon as you're rolling out those resources, I think a lot of us are going to pick them up and run with them.
Okay.
Yeah. And Nina, hi, it's Tiffany. Can I say?
Hi, Tiffany. Welcome. Hi. This is Tiffany Schlain, the Great.
I'm so happy to be on this call and see all your faces. And a couple things. Nina, thank you for organizing this. I'm so happy this collective exists. I have, Nina mentioned National Day of Unplugging, and basically I started doing it 10 years ago with my family, and now we're almost at 10 years of unplugging one day every week for what we call our technology Shabbats. And it is what we feel like a solution. Our 16-year-old teenage daughter loves it and is very articulate on why she loves it, and we have a 10-year-old. And I have a book coming out this fall called 24/6, The Power of Unplugging One Day a Week. And when it comes out, thank you, Simon & Schuster's publishing it. And I think exactly, Amy, what you were saying is that I have a hopeful solution that's actually worked for a decade with my family. And just to give you all my background, I founded the Webby Awards. So obviously I love tech. I love it and I want to coexist with it better. And this was my strategy. I also want to bring Shabbat as a word that's like yoga and meditation, that it's not thought of as a religious practice, that it's a practice that makes your life better. So the book, I talk about Tech Shabbat, I talk about the history of time on and time off, and a lot of my thoughts about the early days of technology and where we need to go and how do we get digital wellness back. So number one, I'd love to send you all info on the book, but I'd love to highlight all of your work because for the book's launch, we're doing a big global event called Character Day. And it's our 6th year. And this year, the focus is going to be on one's character and screen use. How does being on a screen enhance your character and how does it diminish it? So things like empathy and self-control and courage and social responsibility. So we have also a big resource hub that I would love, Nina, to talk to you about how to point to all the people here that are doing amazing work. So just to give you a sense, last year we had over 200,000 groups in all 50 states and over 100 countries participate in Character Day. So this year the total focus will be on the subject of screen use and character and living a good life with meaning and purpose with technology. So I invite all of you, I think I'll talk to Nina offline about the best way to highlight, like Amy, your talk and the resources, and because our goal is to have a global conversation about humanity and technology. You know, it's the week of the book launch. It's going to be back to school week. We have tons of schools involved and tech companies. Anyways, I don't want to take up too much time, but I'm super excited. I can't wait to feature all your stuff. I can't wait to share the book with you. And I am completely in agreement. There's a lot of fear and panic right now about everything with tech use individually, with relationships in our democracy. And and I feel like the book, I come from a part of a solution and I try to do ultimately I believe humans are gonna get past, we're gonna figure this out and we need to come from a positive space.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. I really appreciate it. Oh, we're so blessed to have all of you in this community. So I'm actually gonna rewind a little bit. Because we actually, looking at this list, do have quite a few prospective members. So let's kind of go back and take a minute to talk about what the collective is for those of you who don't have that crystal clarity yet. So the Digital Wellness Collective is a curated group of digital wellness experts and organizations across the world. We actually weren't really planning to be global, and it just happened because a lot of us really present and speak all over. Currently, our largest hubs of professionals and organizations are in New York, Toronto, Texas, California, and London. And that's growing. We're also getting a lot of inbound interest from Australia. And so even though those are our largest hubs, we have people trickled throughout the whole US. We actually came out with a brand new map of everybody that is in the portal that we're going to be sharing with you shortly. And the collective at its core is a diverse set of solutions and approaches. We can kind of think of it as every company has their own intervention. Very, very broadly speaking, we have our educators. These are our authors, our coaches, the people really doing the presentation work on the ground, the advocacy work. And then we have our developers who are creating the humane tech to support us in this age of shredded attention and the attention economy. And I'm sure that all of you have attended a lot of events in space, and we've all been there where, you know, it's either very holistic or very techy. And so one of the reasons I'm so grateful to this community is that we're bringing these two groups together to really focus on A, collaborations, and B, solutions. And so that's just a little bit about the collective. We formed really out of a need. There was a petition to Apple. They were shutting down a lot of the tracking apps that many of you on this call have actually created to really help us identify how long we were being on our phones and such things. And Android said we can all exist together, and Apple was like, hey, you're all kind of competitors. So they've actually been quietly like reactivating a lot of those offerings, which we're very happy about, but it absolutely takes our voice and our advocacy to make those changes happen. And so this started as a very, very small group of committed people, and it quickly grew into something much larger. And we have formed our own entity now, which we are very, very excited about. We launched our paid model back in March because it does take a fair bit of organizing to get all of these resources in place. So we're very grateful to each of you for supporting that. And we're very excited for future collaborations. So I think now is a really, really great time. I'm gonna share my screen and just kind of give you a walkthrough of the website as it currently exists, which is something that anyone can access. And then I'm gonna hand it off to Amy, and she's gonna kind of talk you through all of the amazing resources in the portal. So let's share our screen, and if anybody has questions, please put them in the chat box, and we will do our best to respond as we go. All right, so this is the new website of the Digital Wellness Collective. On our homepage, it features all of you because we believe that that is the most important thing. We recently came out with a new onboarding survey. So I know some of you are uploading new logos and things like that, but these are all of our companies focused on everything from texting and driving to tech wellness products, to technology and intimacy with couples, to working with college kids on what does it look like to actually practice tech life balance, and so much more. We have people trained in the arts, people trained in philosophy. We have the Digital Wellbeing Lab in Canada, a growing number of researchers really across the world. And so these are the existing companies and foundations. We will be adding a new category soon for our positive change partners. And those will be corporate sponsors and much larger organizations who are interested in supporting the collective and helping us to all hold events together so we can get the word out more. And then here are just a few of our wonderful authors, more coming soon. We have a whole new wave joining next week. So this is our homepage. Welcome to DWC. On our About tab here, pretty self-explanatory. We have our team, we have our advisors. We have an incredible team of 5 advisors. I encourage you to read about them. Some of you know Lawrence, Tracy, who just received a grant from the NIH to focus on teen anxiety, among other things. She's doing incredible work. We have Andrew Dunn. We have Vijay, who is a conscious video gamer, which is something that we really are excited about because we're very healthy tech versus anti-tech, and tech can be used for good. And we're excited to really highlight that. And then we have August with her tech wellness products, had a very successful career in news and is now focused on this particular line of work. So that is our wonderful, wonderful team that we have here. You guys know a little bit about our mission. We have a little infographic here about our values. I'm not gonna read through all of it. Our story, how we formed, a definition of digital wellness. And then we have our Get Involved tab. So this tells you what's included when you join. We're actually gonna share the screen and show you guys what it looks like inside the portal. I'm gonna slow down. I felt myself speeding up. And then we have our membership rates. We have a great promotion going on until June 30th. And we are an official partner of NDU, which we're very excited about. There are activations that are held all over the world. Tiffany can talk to you a little bit more about that too in the forum. And then we have been curating content for you guys to use because doing everything from scratch can be absolutely exhausting, and we all have a lot to do, right? And so we have a list here of upcoming events in the digital wellness space. If you ever see something that you think is relevant, please email it to me. We'll add it to here. These are the 2 ones that are, these are the 3 that are coming up. And then you'll see we have a whole list of events that have passed already. And if any of you have events that are open to the public, please email me, because when you join, that also means that your logo goes on the homepage and we advertise your events. And that's just one of the ways that we're really, really excited to support you. And then under press, we have our curated news. So Susan Reynolds is our educational liaison, and she's been choosing articles. We were doing 2 on Tuesdays and 2 on Thursdays, so that everybody could kind of keep up to date. I know that a lot of you have alerts set up and we can't possibly read everything. So these are kind of the hand-picked diverse articles that you're welcome to post on your sites, use in social media, anything you choose. And that goes by week, and we keep that updated. And then we have our blog. So our blog is something that I'm really excited about. We've had a few of you post. We're kind of gonna put a little bit more energy towards it. And anybody in the collective can contribute to the blog. And the great thing about it is that you don't have to create something brand new. You can repurpose old content and just change it really, really slightly. And so this kind of offering to the public is a step beyond our internal support of each other. And it really shows here are the voices and here are the interventions of the diverse companies in a little bit more of an organized fashion. Here we go. And then last but not least, our contact form. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and hand it over to Amy to walk you all through the portal. Amy B.
Hey, let me pull up my screen here so I can share it. All right, so a lot of work has gone into this portal in terms of creating a resource that is useful to you, but just recognize that it is a living, breathing website. So things change and are getting updated, and we're trying to do a phased approach to rolling out more and more features that I think will be useful to each of you. If you have ideas, though, please reach out. Let me or Nina know, and that way we can get them in a queue for great things to come. So I'm going to walk through. So when you are in the member portal, you should go here to member portal. And when you are on here, you can click through. I'll go through each one of these just so you know what they are. In particular, the forum is the heart of conversation in the community. So if you're not on the forum, you should definitely launch in. You can actually make it so that you get a digest of the latest information coming out, which is how I keep up with the forum in a tech-friendly way. When you come in, you'll see that you can get a quick glance at what all is going on. But if you want a more organized approach, I would go up here to this folder. It's called Categories. And you can jump right to what you're interested in, whether it's upcoming events or member resources that you want to share. Tiffany, that's a great place to put some of the work about your upcoming book. Members who are in the news, if you have a news article that comes out or you see one about another member, feel free to share. News articles you want to make sure are on people's radar. Jobs that you are looking for or want to post, or if you are offering a speaking opportunity or looking for a speaker. And down here, if you have interview requests or you're looking for interviewees or you want to be interviewed, that's a great spot to talk about blogs and podcasts and vlogs and whatever else that might be coming up. So this is the heart of the conversation. As Nina said, we are transitioning away from Slack into this forum and are really trying to invest more and more energy to keeping things organized here. And so to that end, we hope that you'll jump in and help be part of that conversation. Let me jump back to the member portal here, and I'll take you to the next feature. And if you have questions, feel free to pop in here. I don't have my chat window open while I'm doing this so that you don't all see my chat feed coming through, but if you have something, maybe Nina, you can pipe in with a question. So the next one is the search member directory. This is also one of the most resource-rich options that you have to search for other people in the community. So whether you're looking for a company name or the actual individual, this is how you can get to know each other well. our vision is that very soon we'll be able to tag each one of you, maybe as a developer, as an educator, as a trainer, so that if we want to search for that particular function, that would be something that comes through.
And just on that note, many of you have filled out your profiles on collaboration interests and a little bit about you. I highly encourage you guys to complete your profiles because it makes it much easier for me to do custom introductions and for us to facilitate those incredible collaborations.
Awesome, thanks.
Amy, if you want to kind of click on one of them, I think to just show folks the area where they would fill out their profile, that would be wonderful.
Right. Looks like Andrea's got hers pretty well set up here. So in the profile, you can see not only Andrea's information, but also her lovely picture looking beautiful. And then what her digital wellness focus is. So this gives us a great context for if somebody contacts the collective and is looking for something to work with older adults, this text all becomes searchable so that we can find out great information that might be a good fit there, as well as her collaboration interests. So I would encourage you to check out both your profile, but also check out other people's profile because there's a lot of collaboration potential. We also have down here is an offer that you can put in for your organizations. So Andrea's put in here about 15% off for the Ever Human Academy for DWC members, along with the coupon code. And you can put unlimited offers in there that you want to share with the collective. I think this will become increasingly valuable, but all of these offers become a great way to offset any sort of membership fee because now we're getting direct benefit for discounts on conferences and books and resources and online courses that are being made available. So thank you, Andrea, for letting me use you as the guinea pig there. But that's a great way to share both with yourself, with the community, but also with other people who are seeking out great help. The next one is curated news, and Nina shared a little bit about this. This is also available to the public, I believe, Nina, but these are upcoming articles or recent articles that have been picked out by Susan that have been topics worth highlighting, concerns that we want the community to know about that maybe we want to respond to or you might want to blog about. And I'll scroll down here to member deals. Just like you saw in Andrea's account with the Ever Human Academy, there's an offer. I'm giving 50% off of my book to anybody who is interested. We have apparel. But I know this is just a drop in the bucket that each one of you has content that you may want to promo or offer something to the community. So that's a great spot to put it into your profile. Let's see here in the member portal. Social media calendar is where you can find, thanks to Nina's work and the help of 2 different interns, she's compiled this amazing list of holiday campaigns that you might want to do social campaigns around. So April was National Stress Awareness Month, and then they went through and actually added highlight days for every day that might be somewhat relevant, so that you could piggyback off that for social or blogging or interviews or topics that might come up. And this list is extensive. If you know of other dates that they might have missed, feel free to share along. Such a great resource there, so thank you for that. And the member map is continually getting updated, but wow, I love seeing this. This is where all of the digital wellness members are in the world as of right now. And I want to see this whole map turn blue. I think it would be so exciting to get digital wellness in every corner of the world. When you click on these different dots, you can find out who is where. So if you happen to be visiting a region of the world that you want to connect with a digital wellness person, you can come to the map and find out who's there. I think someday this would be a lovely spot to have meetup groups tied to that map as well, so that we might be able to figure out if there are events going on in those different places around the world, but that's in the future. Let's see, scrolling down here, we're almost through. We've had a number of people who've expressed interest in blogging for the Digital Wellness Collective, and I really am excited about this option because I think that if you have existing content, we're encouraging you to repurpose it to the DWC blog. And the reason why is A, it's super simple, and B, is that enables the other members of the collective to help share your content to a broader audience. And as more and more content gets populated, we'll be able to share this more broadly with the public. So if you are interested in blogging, I've written a guide to blogging that you can, let's see if it'll pop up. Yep, how to contribute stories and what we're looking for. I tried to add as much detail as possible, so forgive it if it sounds a little bit over guideline-y. But at the very end of the guide, it'll show you how to get set up with publishing to the blog. You do have to request to become a contributor so I put my email in there directly if you want to become a contributor, because I just have to add you as a writer on the site. So if you have a medium.com account already, any content you've already published, you can just republish as well to the DWC blog. Maybe make a couple changes so that you get better SEO, like search engine optimization for your articles. But I can walk you through more of that if that's of interest to you. But I think that with the quantity of content we have out there of existing blogs, if we could repopulate that to this group, the more the better. So please feel free to dive in there. The member badge, this beautiful badge, is your seal of approval as being a member of the collective. So use it proudly. I've put it in my email signature online. I've put it on my LinkedIn profile. I've put it on my social. So everywhere I go, it's hyperlinked to the collective so that people know not only that I have the backing of this great collective, but also how to become a part of it or how to learn more about what the collective is. So if you click on that member badge link, it'll take you here where you can download a PNG file or even the AI file for Illustrator so that you can resize or recolor or whatever you need to do to make it fit with your website. So that is one of the best ways for you to signal that you are part of the group. And lastly, event discounts. So I don't know why it's asking for email here. We will fix this, but ideally what will be happening is that when there's an upcoming event, say this last year, Wisdom 2.0 offered a discount to all of the DWC members, then we would put that there so that you could get a discount off of your registration, which is another great value that is available only to DWC. So I'm going to pause there. And if there's other questions, or Nina, if you've heard other things, why don't you pipe in and we can
start. And so under the event discounts, our last two ones were, we got everyone in the collective 25% off their ticket to Wisdom 2.0, as well as Lawrence kindly extended a 25% off to the Digital Wellness Festival in London. And so with this model, our hope is that all of these resources that we're providing to you really help to lift up your company. And though we are charging to join because all of this takes a lot of organizing, the value that you receive should far, far, far outweigh the cost of joining. But as Amy said, please let us know if there are other things that would be even more helpful for you to add, for us to add to support you. That's something that we're really, really very excited about. And so this is the call to action. If you are interested in joining or you're interested in referring someone, the criteria for joining is that someone have actively launched a digital wellness organization or community program, evidenced by a website, ironically, because our consumers and the general public need to be able to locate your offering. And so once you really reach that place in your development and you're looking to get the word about your company and your offering out even more, that is absolutely the right time to join us. if you know somebody who wants to join, please, either reach out to me, the contact form on our site, and I will do an onboarding interview with them. Everybody on this call has already been pre-approved to join because we've all been in touch. And so in the chat box here, I'm going to put our most recent onboarding survey. If you're interested in joining, please fill it out. And for our existing folks, if you could fill out our new survey anyway, there's a lot of new things that we're collecting information on that will help us to connect you to the right collaborations, opportunities, referrals, etc. So that's something that we're really, really pumped about. And that is the collective as it currently exists. We're thrilled to have you all, and we have some time left. So we really wanted to open up the rest of this call to talk about any questions you might have for existing folks to share testimonials about their experience in the collective so far. And then I think we're gonna hear a few words from Andrew Dunn about what he's working on and his experience being in this amazing group of people.
Nina, I have a quick comment.
Yes.
This is Vijay Dixit. I actually chair the Shreya Dixit Foundation in Minnesota. And when I saw this introduction, I was completely flabbergasted because this is exactly what I was looking for as a partner. And kudos to you that I'm now part of your group.
Thank you.
What the mission of my foundation is, I lost my daughter to a distracted driver about 12 years ago. And in the last 3 years, I took early retirement, and then I am now spending 100% of my time on making people more responsible drivers. And the biggest thing that I would say our foundation has done, is a 501c3, is that created a model which I published in my book. Actually, I have a book too. It's called One Split Second.
We need to add it to the website under our featured authors. I have just made a note. Thank you.
Please. And it actually, just to give you a little bit of a background, it talks about distracted driving and also talks about what is distracted driving, how do we know it is killing people, and third is more solution driven, that what is it that we can do? Because it's such a vast area, as we met and talked about this particular call, that it is so difficult to identify and include everything in yours. So I focused on teenage drivers and young drivers and drivers in the making. So we have two types of drivers that we are working in. One, drivers in training. Those are the people who are young teenagers trying to learn, or are very novice drivers. And driver in the making are the elementary school students. So we have two projects going on. And what I have done is created a model for distraction-free life clubs in Minnesota. And we have about half a dozen schools that are part of it. And now we're very happy to announce that this coming summer, we are going to run a pilot with elementary school students who will be actually coached by those teenage members of distraction-free life clubs. And it's a very exciting thing. So I think a lot of the stuff that you mentioned and Andrea mentioned are the things that I was dying to get my hand on. So thank you for your support, and thank you for all you're doing.
Thank you for your incredible work, Vijay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I see Andrea trying to talk. No. Would anybody else like to chime in and share anything?
Hi, I would.
Hi, John.
Hi, this is John Schwinn. I'm with Apple Slice. We're a New Jersey company, and we're created a system to help families, individuals, kids reduce screen time, time on game consoles, time on social media. It's a paper-based workbook system. It's a 21-day program, and we'll be rolling it out in probably about another month and a half. But I have a question for you, Nina and Amy, regarding the Public Benefit Corp. I'm not really that familiar with it. I want to know, why did you set the company up as a PBC?
Yeah, absolutely. So we examined a lot of different company structures, and at this point, with everything happening in the government and whatnot, the kind of consistent advice we received is that forming a nonprofit would take a long time. We actually may end up creating an arm of the organization that is a nonprofit, but for now, this is what made the most sense and made the most sense to be able to move us forward. We also did a lot of surveying on people's perception of what a PBC is, and the kind of perception of companies is shifting. And so a public benefit corporation kind of at its core has to devote its workings towards serving humanity in a very kind of quantifiable way. And Andrew, one of our advisors, I would actually love for you to chime in here, as you also chose the same model for your company, Siempo.
Thanks, Nina. Yeah, congrats on the PBC move.
Thank
we
you.
just reincorporated as a public benefit corp last week, and it feels like a very aligned way for organizations in our community to send the message and to align stakeholders. I would be thrilled to share more information if anybody's interested about the process. And we've also worked with some great lawyers to make that happen.
Wonderful lawyers. Yeah, so Andrew, why don't you kind of tell everybody a little bit about what you're working on? I know that you're about to launch this incredible crowdfunding campaign.
Absolutely. Hi, everybody. It's so cool to see so many people here from all around the world. I'm an advisor of DWC, and I was one of the original initiators. I'm also CEO and co-founder of Siempo, which is creating technology that protects and promotes human thriving. And I'm grateful to everyone on this call. Grateful to the leadership, Nina, Amy, Gabby, Kim, and others. One thing I would love to talk about more is fundraising. I'm curious how folks are doing with fundraising. Are they sufficiently resourced to build and grow their solutions? In addition to being a public benefit corp and open source project, we're also pursuing this crowd equity route to finance our prosperity. And we think it's an excellent solution for digital wellness startups because of the way it activates their community to share in their possible prosperity. And we're launching a huge campaign next Tuesday with WeFunder, which is also in partnership with Zebras Unite. I'm not sure if anyone here has seen the Zebras community, but it's kind of like a alternative to the unicorn mindset. And we're launching next Tuesday and would love your support.
And so you're going to share some more information in the chat and also in the portal, correct, Andrew?
Yes, I'll be sharing something next Monday. We're hoping to have a lot of people sharing on Facebook our new direction with the Crowd Equity Open Source Public Benefit Corp. It's kind of like what's coming up is like, this is the stack for digital wellness companies that want to create a great business and also have a great impact in the world. And spreading the word would be super supportive for our movement.
Thank you, Andrew. That's
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Something else I wanted to mention is that we are going to begin to feature your companies. And so we have an incredible new intern. If you want to say hello. Let's see where she is. City.
Hello.
There she is. There she is.
Hi.
Wonderful.
My name is Siddhi. Hello.
Do you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
So my name is Siddhi. I already said that. I'm sorry. I just graduated high school 2 weeks ago, and I really got interested in digital wellness And Miss Susan Reynolds reached out to me, and she brought me into DWC and got me really involved in all of this. And I am also in the process of trying to create my own digital wellness initiative to get more young people involved. And yeah.
Thank you so much. And so you have been a huge support with a lot of the things that we just showed everyone in the new portal and website. And our plan for Instagram, which can be controversial, is that we're going to just post a little bit in a very organized fashion. And what we've been finding actually is that we're reaching around, half of the folks are just kind of general consumers, and the other are professionals who are saying, wait, what? You collaborate on events? What's happening? And so what we're really excited to do is to feature a company. And so we'll have a company, and then we'll have a tip, and then we'll have a company, and we'll have a tip. And so those of you who have joined have signed our code of conduct and our agreement and all of that. And so this is just a friendly reminder that if you don't want us to feature your company on Instagram, please reach out to us directly. Other than that, we're going to be using your existing information on your websites. We're not going to be redesigning or rewording anything too much. We're just going to give shout outs. And so especially those of you who are holding events, please let us know so that we can advertise your company at the appropriate time. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. And
Nina.
Yeah.
Yes. I was. I'm very happy to be here. Your explanation, and Amy. I am happier after hearing how you explain all the opportunities that we can live here. In the website, there's a lot of things that it was very clear now about all the collective. So I find a lot of opportunities of sharing, working, of researching, and that's very interesting for me.
Thank you. We're so happy to have you. Alfredo is our first person who has joined from Argentina. So we are truly expanding all over the globe. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm sorry. I am the one of the South.
Hi, Nina.
I'm so happy about that.
I think that's a Madeline. Hi, Madeline.
Yeah, hi, everyone. Hola, Alfredo.
Hello. Hi.
In Spanish and get our message out in Spanish as well. So we'll be talking. I am Madeline. I'm in Dallas, Texas in the USA, and I have an organization called Unplug Family, where I inspire and equip parents to contend for digital well-being and connection. I long to have parents know their children and contend for connection and raise healthy digital natives. Kids who are wise about technology and use it for good. My platform, ironically, until I get my web podcast going, is Facebook. And I have a page called Unplug Family. And I also have editorial privileges on a mommy blogger page with 3.4 million likes. It's called Quirky Mama, where I do the Unplug Family show. So I would love to have interview pretty much every single one of you and feature you as well. I'm excited to get our message out, and the different flavors and approaches that each of us are taking is just absolutely fascinating. So like Tiffany said, we're gonna figure this out. And I'm so excited to be part of it. So thank you, Amy, thank you, Nina, and everyone involved. I so look forward to collaborating with you.
Thank you.
Hi, Nina. I don't know, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, hi, Bree.
Hi, I just thought I would chime in and introduce myself. Thanks for having me. I'm here in Pasadena, California, and I have Let's Talk Teens, which does digital well-being for teens and tweens, and that's kind of why I wanted to say hi to everybody, because I've seen some keywords come up that I do. So just wanted to kind of throw that out there if you guys want any help with anything. So we focus on tweens and teens, and I do direct to teens and tweens education. So we go into after school programs in schools. And I loved what Tiffany said, because she said some of those key words that we focus on, which is we teach digital empathy, and we teach digital relationships and digital boundaries. So we really speak to some practical now what action steps and meet like character with digital well-being. So super excited to be here, and I just want to say hi, what's up? We're right in the middle of becoming a nonprofit. We were an LLC, and now we just launched a crowdfunding campaign to become a nonprofit. So onward and upward to all of us. Thanks, Nina.
Oh, thank you so much, Bree. And something else we kind of touched upon really, really briefly is something that we're excited about is that over the past 3 months, we've gotten quite a few requests from conferences who are very, very excited to bring our folks in for keynotes, for workshops, for panels. And so we do expect the number of referrals to be amping up. So please make sure that you fill out the survey and keep your profiles up to date so that we know what you want to focus on. I think one of the reasons that folks are so excited about the collective is that we are this incredible curated group. And so this looks like a conference reaching out and saying, okay, I want to hear from a psychologist and a teacher and a developer and a teenager, and them being able to kind of tell us exactly what they need, and then us being able to reach out to you is, I think, one of the really, really incredible ways that we can collaborate. We're also very interested in holding events together. We are going to be planning a summit probably in the fall because there is nothing like being together in person. And in the meantime, we will be providing you all with toolkits so you can hold kind of local gatherings in your communities. Yes. I feel like we've actually been speeding through things. Everyone's so efficient. So I want to take a little time for our advisors to chime in and introduce themselves a little bit more, because I think you know about the people who are involved in our core team: Kim, Gabby, Tommy, Amy, Susan. I don't really think that most of you have heard from our advisors. So DJ, August, Lawrence, please chime in. Tracy is away, unfortunately.
I guess I'll go first. I'm VJ Tucker. I've been working in video games my entire career, and I have a kind of a background in yoga and mindfulness. It was something that I was raised with, so I've been doing it since I was a kid before it was sort of trendy. The combination of those two things has been a lot of my inspiration. Over the last 15 years, I've worked in video games across the spectrum. I've started a few companies and sold a few companies. So it's a space that I'm personally passionate about. Right now, mindfulness specifically as it pertains to video games mostly exists on the side for me because my full-time job is still in a video game studio. But I've spent a bunch of time advising and helping in startup boot camps and kind of offering mentorship for different startups. So my hope is that I can offer some expertise both from a technology perspective, a startup perspective, and a game design perspective. One of the things that's particularly frustrating for me, especially in this space, people that are trying to push forward healthy technology, is probably like two things. One, there's a big misperception of video games, and I think the role that it can play absolutely in some cases can be really destructive, but I also think it can be really, really powerful. And then specifically the way that gamification has become a sexy word in the last decade, but is often not actually leveraged in a positive way. It's usually used as a buzzword in the same way that that like cryptocurrency has been, and isn't really leveraged in a way that could be done to add really strong engagement, to create healthy engagement with technology. I'm eager to see us move that forward and hope to break some of the misconceptions about the medium.
Thank you, Vijay. Is there any of your work that I think folks might know of to kind of give them a point of reference?
The largest one is I helped start the studio that made Words with Friends, and I was the chief technology officer of that, and we sold that to Zynga. I worked a little bit on some smaller projects that were about social networking and bringing things together, but Unless you're a gamer, the other ones are more of like Halo Wars, Age of Empires, Star Wars Galaxies, a bunch of traditional gamery games. And I currently work at Riot, the company that makes League of Legends. So I've crossed across the gamut. I think I've built games for every platform at this point. But Words with Friends is the one that I think is the real healthy balance in terms of adding a lot of value and contributing back and understanding what positive engagement really looks like.
Thank you, Vijay.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Vijay. This is Vijay again.
Hey.
I have a question for you, because you mentioned that, positive influencing, this is what you're referring to, that words in, what is that?
Words with Friends.
Yes, Words with Friends. And so that is the one that I would like to leverage here, pick a brain of mine for the teenagers, as well as not only the teenagers, but also the elementary school students, because those are the target audience that we have been really engaged with in the past 10 years. So I'd like to see, and I have lots of ideas on the gamification thing, but I'm not an expert. So the ideas just stay in the brain and cannot be deployed or operationalized. So I hope you would help us operationalize that.
Sure. Happy to set up a chat.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yep.
Do we have Lawrence or August on here? All right, well, we will have Lawrence chime in a bit later. I think that August had to hop off. I think that Liz had an announcement. Liz, can you chime in?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Hi, I'm Liz. I'm based in London, and I'm making a feature documentary called Swipe Left for Addiction. And it's all about the impact of technology on Generation Z. And one thing we're shooting in September and October, the main stuff. But one of the things I've been doing in the meantime is I've been trying to get video diaries from Generation Z, so really focusing on the sort of 14 to 22-year-olds. And what's been interesting is it's been actually a lot harder to get them to do it than I was expecting, than everyone was expecting, which may be an interesting story in itself. And lots of people talked about teenagers. So, if there's anybody out there in the group that can help me sort of reach out to some of those Generation Zs to try and engage them and to get them involved in the documentary and do the video diaries for me, help me with that, I would be really, really grateful.
I was going to say, if you want to reach out to me, I can connect you with some people, but also I am connected with IndieFlix, who just did the Like movie. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
And so I could connect you. I don't know, you probably know her already, Sheila. I could maybe connect you if you don't know her yet, and you guys could swap stories or anything you want. Grab coffee over Skype. I don't know, but I think
that would be great. Yeah.
And also I can connect you with teens that would actually cooperate and do it.
What a lovely community we have here.
Yeah, I'm working with teens and anyone under that age.
Yes.
I'll be very happy. And in fact, we have a lot of activities going on, but they are already in the loop.
And Susan is traveling right now. But Liz, I think you met Susan when we were in London together. And so she has a lot of teen resources. I think she's working with a network of schools in Massachusetts, actually, and they're going to be holding an event in early November or late October.
Yes, Susan and I, actually, Susan's collaborating with me on the film, which is fantastic.
Oh,
and got me actually to Dartmouth. What she's also finding it's hard to get them to engage with the Video Diary project too. So there's some interesting insight in the fact that it's harder to get them to engage than we thought we would, even though they're very happy to use mobiles, that kind of thing. But when it means actually exposing them their thoughts and their opinions on this, there's a lot of nervousness, and it comes back to this fear thing. So that's interesting in of itself. What's the best way, Nina, for me to share this request?
Yeah, so the best place to put that would be in the forum, probably towards the bottom in the category under blogs, opportunities. anything that feels appropriate in terms of how you want to receive information from people. And be sure to include your email address in your profile or in that post so they can connect with you directly. Something we are going to be focusing even more on come the fall is kind of this youth-led movement. And we definitely want to get more youth who have created products and projects in their communities to join us, because these are our future interns. These are our like salt of the earth, incredible humans that we really want to take care of and nurture as much as we can. So we're going to be trying to set up some kind of structure for that. So there's a little bit more of a clear youth-led track.
I would love to participate in the video diary for your movie, because that would be really interesting. I think that'd be cool.
Great, thank you.
Do you want to tell them a little bit more about what you created at your school?
So I started this thing, and I'm in the process of starting this thing called the Saraswati Project. And what I am trying to do is create projects that are interdisciplinary. So kids who like art, kids who like video games, kids who like to code, can all work together on creating their own pitch project to solve these digital wellness issues and familiarize themselves with issues that we have with privacy, with mental health that surround technology. So kids from different interest groups can work together using technology and non-online resources to raise awareness not only for themselves but for other people. So it's kind of like a project competition that I'm trying to like develop and start for kids to raise awareness in their own communities, for themselves and around the world.
Love that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your work. I'm skimming through the list.
Maybe we should add, Nina, either a category or at least a topic posting on the forum for youth-led movements or youth-leading movements, so that we can some of the great work that's being done, and also some folks that might be go-to resources for that.
Absolutely. Okay. Is there anybody else who wants to chime in? We haven't really heard from any of the prospective members. I don't want to call them out as to give them their privacy, but if anybody is considering joining and has any questions for this community while we're on the line, please feel free to chime in. Otherwise, we did send out the onboarding survey in the chat link. Anybody who's on this call has been pre-approved to join. I just need to chat with you again briefly, and we'll get you all ready to go. We do have a promotion going on until June 30th to join. You can join for 6 months, or you can join for a year, which we highly recommend to really get to know this evolving community over the course of a year. And thank you, Rob. Thank you so much. And yes, do we have any other questions, comments, ideas?
Can I just give a quick shout out to the effectiveness of this group? I just wanted to say, so Kim is on the line. Hey, Kim. Amy's on the line with Daily Aloha. So just to make a super long story short, Kim liked one of my posts on Instagram. We started a conversation. Kim said, hey, you know, there's this group forming. You should really get involved, and we're all going to be at Wisdom 2.0. You should come. So we did. I fell in love with Kim. I met Amy with Daily Aloha. I met Nina, all of you. And then from that, Kim actually came to Fort Collins, Colorado to a local music festival to promote Lil Space. And so I just want to give a shout out to the opportunities that exist to meet in person. I'm just going to give an open invitation. If anyone thinks Fort Collins, Colorado is a great place to do business, I'm happy to connect with you. But there's ways that we can really form kind of unusual partnerships that aren't just online, that we can really get offline with this. So just a shout out to all the amazing work that's already being done.
Thank you so much, Andrea. So much. Jennifer, can you clarify your question a little bit for me?
can. Okay, so you have the beautiful opportunity for us to have, I guess this is a member profile area.
Yes.
You showed us Andrea's as an example. How do we access that specific section so we can beef up what we have in there? Because I don't recall the opportunity to actually fill all that stuff out. I do know there have been 2 surveys I filled out. So.
Absolutely. Amy, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, I can respond to that. Nina, I think this is one of those items. We were doing a little bit of updating on the website just yesterday, and the profile update button disappeared. So I will make that reappear right after this call. It'll be, when you log in, it'll be at the very bottom of that membership screen we showed you, and I'll put a update profile box with text there so you can click on it and update it. Thank you for highlighting that.
Thank you.
And Gabby, Kim, Tommy, does anybody else want to chime in?
I'll just say hi, everyone. I'm sorry, I'm in a co-working space and it's super loud, so I've been kind of keeping quiet, but I just love seeing everyone's faces and hearing about all these different perspectives and projects, and can't wait to see you all in person sometime.
Hi. Hi. I don't know if you can hear me.
Hello.
Hi. I want to say thank you for having me as part of this. It's been wonderful to get to know everybody slowly over since October, and you and Andrew and everybody else on me. And I'm from breathing.ai. We're a New York-based startup focusing on deep breathing. So we're personalizing screens to help them to have calmer colors and stress-reducing colors and font designs. So yeah, we're really early stage, and grateful for the learning opportunities in this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Gabby?
Yeah, I was just about to jump in. I'm a little bit, here I am. Thank you everyone who made the time to listen in today. I'm actually a little bit late in joining the call. I had a little family emergency come up. Everything's okay, everyone. But yeah, it's just really amazing. I was just looking at the list of participants in the call to see familiar names and people who I've been meaning to have a conversation with who haven't had one yet. And also new prospective members. And if anyone wants to chat one-on-one, feel free to reach out to me. I love hearing about what's going on in the space and seeing if there's some way that I can help serve your work, given that I have my tendrils in a lot of different things right now. So yeah, I saw that Aiden had a question, so I want to make some more space for that. But nice to see you and meet those of you who I haven't met yet.
Thanks, Gabby. Aiden is our member, lives in London and Ireland.
Hi, Nina. Hi, everyone. How are you?
Welcome.
I think I had a question in relation to the solutions for this challenge. I know one of the things we said earlier was it can feel like such a big problem that it's hard to know where to start. But I think that the solutions have also such a diversity to them as well. And I think one of the things that strikes me about this group is that we are all very passionate about making change, but our solutions might look quite different. So there might be people in education, or people who have apps, or people in corporate, or are lobbying government or public policy. Have you got plans to have maybe smaller conversations or more focused gatherings around that?
Yeah, so I can address that kind of twofold. The first is that we are working with the Center for Human Tech. We're kind of acting as a referral network for each other. As many of you know, the Center for Humane Tech is very much focused on working inside tech on humane design, and they're also very, very focused on the policy level. And so we're much more focused kind of on consumers and grassroots. So we're very, very complementary in that way. We're in touch with them because they're holding smaller breakout groups like you're talking about, Aiden, and they are interested in holding one that's specifically for digital wellness. And so we've talked about perhaps inviting their head of kind of community to one of our calls. Is on one side. On the other side, we have had requests from some of you to kind of hold these working groups or support groups, which is something that we can touch upon right now if anyone is interested. My plate is pretty full right now, and so that's something that I'm absolutely open to organizing, but I don't think that I'll personally be able to run those calls. And so if one of you wants to kind of think about it or even volunteer now to really be in charge of facilitating a call, whether it be a working group call or a support group call, if that's once a week, if that's once a month, that's something that we're extremely open to. We just kind of only have so much energy right now. But there is absolutely a need for that, and I so appreciate you bringing it up.
Yeah, I mean, Nina, I can just say I'm happy to, anyone that is interested in live events, either planning, organizing, and you want to just kind of have some maybe quarterly calls or times to get together online and talk about the trials and tribulations and maybe share ideas, I'd be happy to facilitate that. So anybody that's on this call that's interested in that, reach out to me either through the forum or through email. And we can just support each other. It'll be in addition to, I mean, obviously there's so much opportunity in the forum to be able to promote your events and talk about your events. And I know Nina's working on a lot of ways to do that. This would be more of a support, sharing ideas, learning from each other, working group, and happy to, you know, if there's enough interest, we can certainly do that. So live events, that reach out to me.
Thank you, Cam. And I'm going to copy all of the notes from this chat and look at them later to make sure that we addressed everyone's questions. I'll probably put answers to things that we didn't cover in the announcements section of the forum.
I just wanted to introduce myself to everyone. I'm Anna, and I'm a researcher in Canada looking at digital wellness. And I wanted to chime in with one topic. It's so great to see all the wonderful work that everyone's doing. I think one area where that I think might be really important is to find a way to measure some of our effectiveness in terms of the programs that we have or things that are happening. And something maybe I've been thinking about is how do we sort of convince people that these are, you know, strategies that work, and that these are sort of ways that we can make change in different communities in different contexts. So that's something I'm reflecting on, is how to sort of have a way of measuring, or whether it's through surveys or ways that we can sort of try to evaluate the programs that we're offering, things like that. So if anyone's interested in chatting about this kind of stuff, I'm happy to engage. And so I'm a researcher, that's my background, and that's sort of where I'm comfortable in this space, so I'm happy to engage that way.
Yes. Why don't you tell people just a little bit more about what you've been working on at UToronto?
Yeah, so the work that I do, I'm looking specifically how people interact in different digital contexts, and what aspects, how different aspects of those interactions translate into how they feel about their social interactions. So one example is we look at body language and how we transmit body language in different digital contexts, like on this call or any sort of text messaging and things like that. So I'm interested in sort of how we transmit these human sort of capacities digitally, and what that means in terms of how we feel about our interactions, our interpersonal sort of identity. And I've also been doing some work on promoting digital wellness on campus and with students as well. So that's kind of those are my two areas of interest.
Thank you so much.
Hi,
Actually,
Anna. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Go
that's
ahead.
okay. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Anna?
Yeah.
I'm Dawn with Talk More Tech Less and Talk More Meals. I'm here in Texas. representing our company. And I'd love to contact you, Anna. I'm really interested in research. We have some measurable programs that we could get research on. And I've been looking for something like that for a while. We launched in 2014. And with so much just recognition and articles coming out recently publicly on research, I think we've gained some more traction and attention on this issue. And Kim, like, I wanted to just say your TED Talk was wonderful. I really just appreciate it. I think you're right. This is a huge health crisis of today. For today,
what happened?
Is what this is about. So I'm so grateful.
I had just one question for Anna. Hi, Anna. Actually, what you are talking about is exactly what I'm involved in, and would love to discuss that with you offline, because I have done that kind of work, and also there's a lot of complementary things that we could do, because I'm a Six Sigma master belt also, so a lot of statistics background, so that will help us too. Great, so let's talk later.
That would be great.
All right. Well, to respect everyone's time, we're going to wrap up the call. Thank you all so much for joining us. This is an incredible community, and we're open to feedback. We're open to adding new categories and really figuring out if it makes sense to kind of add different tracks for calls and whatnot. So I would encourage you all to bring all of these kind of categories and conversations into the portal, and we will figure out next steps for these wonderful ideas together. So thank you guys so much. I wish you a wonderful rest of your Wednesday, and the rest of the quarterly calls are in a calendar under announcements in the forum. So please keep an eye out there, and we will send out an invite for the next call when it gets a little bit closer. But in the meantime, please add it to your calendar. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Let's do it. Let's change the world.
We're doing it.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
It's a very great group. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alfredo.
Adios, Alfredo.
Adios.
Ciao for now.
Adios. Oh, ciao.